Hi everybody, my name is Peter Marchese. I am a senior consultant at Microdesk. And a little introduction about Microdesk. Microdesk is a technology consulting firm focusing mostly on the AEC industry. And we have offices both up and down the east and the west coast, as well as in the middle of the country. Essentially 11 offices, and we have over 90 technical people on staff with backgrounds in their respective industry. Now, one of the things that we do for clients is we actually take a look at coming technology, seeing where things are going. We also review things for our clients that are already here. And what I'm looking at today is a Microsoft Surface Pro tablet. So this is essentially going to go through basics of what the Surface Pro is, how we feel it's going to be changing certain things, how it can actually be taken advantage of. And over the course of the next 2 weeks, I'll be putting up a couple of blogs regarding usages, different modifications that we can make to it to actually get a little bit more out of it, and going over a few more videos on very specific applications from both Autodesk and other companies that are relevant to the AEC industry. So a little basics about it first. Microsoft put out 2 different tablets in the last probably 4 to 6 months. One of them being the RT, the other one being the Pro. The RT is more like a regular tablet, meaning you can't install things on there just because you want to. It has to be specifically designed for the RT. Now, the Pro here is actually based on Windows 8, meaning it's a regular Windows 8 computer, but more on the tablet form factor, meaning that if it's made for Windows through the Windows Store, or just a regular Windows program, you can use it and install it. Now, it has a power supply, which has a nice little USB plug on there, so if you're traveling on a train or a plane, you need to plug in both your phone and this, not a problem, you can actually still do both through the one. Has magnetic snap on the side. It has a mini display port for plugging this into another monitor or even a TV, depending on if you want to present what you have on your now tablet to a room full of people. It has a micro SD card, so if you actually have information maybe on your phone or you need to expand the storage space, you can either put it here, or there's a USB 3.0 plug, full USB on the side that you plug into. Now, the nice thing is, when you just want to set this up, pull out the back, flip forward the keyboard, turn it on, and you can get going. So basically typical Windows 8 setup, a little bit weird for some people who haven't seen it. You log right in, and you set things up, and what I'm looking at currently is a desktop. So for most people who are used to Windows or seen all the new either Metro or modern interface, depending on what they're referring to, this is more comfortable for most people. However, if you want to go to the new stuff, you can go straight in there. You can slide back and forth. You can tell it that you want to go to your settings if you need to tweak things, and if you're searching for something like, say, Revit, just type in REV, and there's Revit. So it's very user-friendly. It does take a little bit of getting used to, specifically if you've been using Windows for quite a long time and you're very comfortable the way certain things work. Now, hitting the Windows button there or the Windows button here essentially takes you back to whatever their previous program was. If you want to, you can always pull in from the left, do the same thing, slide back and forth and look at the last couple of programs you had. If what you're trying to do is multitask. Okay, so I'll pull this out, and I want to look at a couple of different things here. So I want my desktop on the side. Pull it back, there we go. Now I'm looking at my desktop on the left and a program on the right. I want to switch that. Now it's the other way around. So you actually can do different things on here. You don't have to customize it, modify it. And this is really only if you need to look at something that is designed specifically for the modern interface, as well as something else. If you're just working in the desktop, I can still do multitasking in here and have multiple windows open at the same time, just like I normally can. You can use all the keyboard shortcuts that you're comfortable with from Windows 7, holding down Windows and right or left arrow key as well. So all those things will still work. Now, I have a little mouse here. If you are more comfortable using a mouse and the little trackpad that it comes with, just plug it in like normal, hop in, start doing work, and you're doing the regular work that you normally would be. Now, the nice thing with the Pro, and more so than any other tablet, is that it has a pen. Now, the Stylus is nice, but the real kicker is that it understands pressure sensitivity. So if what I'm looking to do is actually do some drawing, not only can I actually move this around, I can actually just tell it that I'm pushing harder or softer. So if I'm trying to sketch out a design or do a markup on a set of documents in maybe Design Review or even Navisworks or BIM 360 Glue, I can start to say, okay, I want to push harder here or draw over top of this. And if you're trying to take notes, one of the really nice things is that you can have OneNote in Windows or OneNote in the Metro. But let's say I'm out in the field, I don't have a place to actually put this down. You fold over the keyboard, doesn't matter what you're doing here, the keys are now actually disabled. So I can hold it however I want or however I feel comfortable without worrying about typing in a bunch of things. come down here, you can actually start to type. And then rather than using the keyboard, you can tell it you'd actually like to type in that, write in that space. So, and if you can see, I'm not exactly writing this cleanly. So, and it actually understands what I'm writing and puts it right in there. And when I'm done, I just say insert, and my text hops in. And if I'm done with this, I just close that little window and I can modify how it goes. So this is one of my favorite things because I like taking notes. I still feel more comfortable in my mind with a pen or pencil. Even though sometimes I'm faster with the keyboard, I now have the ability to use either or. And I don't have to have a special kind of stylus that has a little nib at the end that's either rubber and wears away, or has a custom end just so it understands more accurate. And the accuracy on this is actually something you can modify should you want to. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about before we get into specifics with the next couple of videos is battery life. One of the big complaints about this relative to other tablets is battery life. This is almost situated not as a laptop replacement. I can almost see it being more of a netbook replacement. But it's still situated somewhere between tablets such as, like an Android tablet or an iOS tablet, or so that most of those have a much longer battery life. You can get 8 hours or several days on some of those. And this one, I've been fluctuating between 5 and 8 hours, depending on what I'm doing. And the thing I realized is, just like a regular Windows laptop, for most road warriors, you're already familiar with this, I can come down here and actually modify my power settings. I can very quickly go to the balance setting, power user, or power saver. And if I'm somewhere where I really don't need it, I can always come in here and modify my screen brightness, dim it if I don't need it, or if I'm in somewhere where it's very dark, make it brighter. This is also done automatically, but like I just did, if I wanted to, I can override it. And like anything else, the brighter the screen, the more battery life it's using. So I can still manage my battery. I can make it last longer when I feel I need it to. So this is the very basic overview of the commands inside of here, how I can actually use it with multiple different inputs. And what we're going to be looking at in the next couple of videos is very specific programs. So things like BIM 360 Glue, which is technically cloud-based, and then while there is an iPad app, it doesn't have all the features of the full version. We'll also be looking at how I can use Revit on here, Quantity Takeoff, Navisworks, Sketchbook Designer, which is great. And there's a couple of little tools that I want to show from Showcase, which, while you might not normally use Showcase on a lower powered tool, there's a couple of neat features I think you'll enjoy. So hopefully you'll keep watching this and enjoy the upcoming pieces. Thank you very much for your time.